With Adobe Acrobat 10 Pro, Adobe really improved the features for editing existing PDFs. So if somebody has sent you a PDF, maybe a contract, and you need to make changes and you don't have access to the original, to the Word document, you have some new options to make the changes to those documents. And we'll look at some of those now. The tools are going to be located under the Tools menu and under Content. And the main three that we're interested in here are the Edit Document Text, Edit Object, and Edit Text box. We'll start by clicking on Edit Text, Document Text, and then we'll just select someplace in the text, and we'll begin adding text. Now you'll see it very conveniently adds the text in the proper font and right in the line where we wanted to make it, which is something that was very challenging in past versions of Acrobat. Unfortunately, by default, it's pushing our margin out. It's not wrapping the way we might like it to, which can really make it difficult to format your documents. There is a solution to this. We're just going to go ahead and delete what we just typed. And if you go to the Edit menu and Preferences, you'll see a screen that looks like this. If you scroll down to Touch Up, and at the bottom you'll see an option to enable text word wrapping. When this option is checked, when you add text to a paragraph like this within your PDF, so we'll go back and add that text again. You'll see it's now word wrapping rather than extending into the right margin. There may still be some formatting issues here. You'll notice that there was a line break here where there probably shouldn't have been. I can go in and correct that if I'd like. But that will allow you to edit the text within the formatting of the existing document quite a bit easier. If you find that the formatting throws your document off, for example, if we'd added an extra line or two here, you'll see it starts to border on the text here. We can edit that by clicking on Edit Object and selecting this entire text block, and we can move it around. So we can reposition this paragraph in a place that might be a little bit more convenient. You can do that either by clicking and dragging, or by using the cursor or the arrow keys on your keyboard to just nudge it a little bit up or down, left or right. You can also click on the edges and resize the text area, which can be very handy if you need to shrink a clause down so it fits into an area where perhaps you've added a couple lines and it's made the text quite a bit bigger. Another option is to right-click on the text and select Properties. And under the Text menu, you have the ability to change the font, to change font size, and to make some other changes to spacing, word spacing, and character spacing, and scaling. You can also change the coloring. And when you're done, you just click Close, and the changes will be made. Another option, especially if you're working on a document that has not been OCR'd or optical character recognition, if it's a document where clicking on the selection tool you're unable to select text, you'll see this document has been OCR'd, so I'm able to select the text. But on some, like a scanned document, you may not be able to do that. An option in that case is to simply add text using the Add or Edit Text box tool. And to do that, you simply click on the tool, and you'll get a small formatting bar like that. This is similar to the typewriter tool in previous versions of Acrobat. Now if I click on where I'd like to add text, I just type in the text there. And I have some options here to change the formatting and the font and the size. Once I'm done, I can edit object again and reposition this text. Excuse me, in order to edit this, once you've placed it with a typewriter, you have to click on the Edit tool. So it's slightly different than normal text or normal objects like this paragraph where we can use the Edit Object tool. But again, this is convenient, especially for filling in scanned forms or making small changes to a document where you don't have the ability to edit the document text itself. One other important editing feature we'll just mention briefly is the ability to set headers and footers in PDFs. This can be very useful if you're working on various drafts of a document and you want some way to note that you're working on a draft. To access headers and footers, we're going to go to the Pages menu under Tools and select Header and Footer. And in this case, we're going to select Add Header and Footer because we don't have one already. You'll get a window that looks like this. You have various options in terms of font, margin, size. You can also save specific settings if you'd like. We're going to choose to put actually 2 footers in here. We'll put one in the left footer that notes that this is a draft. And in the right footer, we're going to put the date. We can adjust this to change the color, make it slightly larger. If we'd like to, rather than typing the text in like I did, you also have the option to simply click Insert Date. And you can also insert page number. So just like that, we'll click OK, and you'll see it'll add the headers and footers, and the footer we just designed has been added to every single page of the document. So again, it's a very good way of adding a quick footer, if necessary, when you're editing a document, to note a different version or a draft status.